It's wonderful to be here. We're lucky today because we have three guests talking to our audience about finding mentors. If you think about it, anywhere worthwhile going, you can't get there alone. And a lot of times we think about our own ambitions and goals and the wisdom and experience that we gain from there, but it's also a combination of what we learn from others. And today we have three guests who represent a woman's journey, three different stages. And that's kind of, I think, an interesting context and outlook to talk about mentorship. So our first one, Carolyn Crisafulli, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what organization you represent, it would be wonderful.
Sure. Thank you, Ines. And thanks for the opportunity to participate in this exciting panel. I'm really delighted to be here. My name's Carolyn Crisafulli. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurial Education at the Keenan Center for Entrepreneurship at The Ohio State University. Prior to joining OSU, I was a co-founder and a VP of operations for 10 years with a venture-backed medical device startup company. And in my position at OSU, I'm able to bring that experience and share lessons learned to help other innovators navigate technology translation and starting new companies. So the Keenan Center for Entrepreneurship is a university-wide hub of innovation and entrepreneurship, and our mission is to provide services and support for students, faculty, and even alumni to realize dreams of creating startups and advancing technology for the benefit of society. One of our marquee programs at the Keenan Center is Reach for Commercialization, which was originally initiated by the NSF as an advanced institutional transformation grant. The program engages women, graduate students, postdocs, and faculty across all disciplines at the university to explore technology translation, patenting, and entrepreneurial pursuits as a means to amplify the impact of their research. The program Reach provides educational opportunities and skill development, but really the most important component, I think, is it creates a network of near peers, role models, and mentors. And particularly for people in underrepresented groups, having a support system of relatable role models and mentors is critical to broadening participation and lowering barriers to entry.
Well, it's amazing, the depth of knowledge. We're lucky to have you here today. Can't wait to jump in and speak to you. But we also have LaTanya Garth. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I can. So hello, everyone. My name is LaTanya Garth. I am the founder of the Imagine Mentoring Program of Michigan. Our mentoring services are based in the metropolitan Detroit area. We have about 12 schools that we run our program in, and we also offer services for women. So we do not only empowerment for our youth and our young girls, but we also do women's empowerment as well. And so this has been my 13th year. So I'm really excited about all that's to come. And we run programs, like I said, in 12 different schools right now. We do community stuff. Our focus is self-esteem, really helping our young people understand the value of their esteem in knowing that when they're more confident, they can perform better academically. And we want to really empower our people that they need to make sure that they take education seriously. And it starts with, being confident with you and showing up at school and being there and learning what you need. And so we try to give them the tools that they need so that their hearts and their minds are intact so that they don't go out there and make bad decisions. So our goal is really to try to help people look at themselves better and be in a better community and be a better version of themselves.
It's very important work. Thank you for everything you do. Welcome. Our third guest is Bridget Weston. Would you please tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yes, thank you. And it is such a privilege to be here with all of you. Thank you so much. My name is Bridget Weston. I am the CEO of SCORE. SCORE is a nationwide network that provides free mentoring and educational services to anyone looking to start a business, grow a business, is struggling in business and having some challenges. We have a nationwide network of these business mentors, about 10,000 volunteers who provide been there, done that expertise to help small business owners on their journey to achieve their dreams and to succeed. Like Latanya, I have been with SCORE for 13 years, and I've actually climbed up. I started in the marketing department and now have the honor of being the CEO of this amazing organization. And we have seen that mentoring works, just like in these other avenues. We know that when a business owner steps out of their business and works on their business with a mentor, they are more likely to stay in business and increase their revenue. So thrilled to talk about this and more on this panel. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Well, let's just ask a very basic question. Let's just start off from the very, very top. Let's talk about what is the value of a network and of mentors? And specifically, what does your organization do to promote opportunities for women to connect with each other? And I thought maybe we'd start with the youngest of the women. So Latanya, maybe you can jump in.
Sure. Where do I start? Because this is so good. I always talk about how like the youth, the young people, they run away from the word mentor. And it's like, no, you should run to a mentor. Like that's what's going to guide you. You run away from the other stuff and run to us so we can help you get the things that you need. And so I've even seen it in schools how girls will come and they are completely lost. And then when they use us as mentors, they're going to college now. They know how to write a personal statement, just the simple stuff that they should have paid attention to in school. They didn't. So just being able to kind of be that extra push helps them become more successful academically. And I think that is so important. But also from the business standpoint, I love this story because I have a group of women that I work with, and we're all mentors to each other. And it's so awesome because everybody has their own thing that they do. They have their own mentoring programs or their life coaches, or they're doing something to impact and empower other women. And so we call ourselves the Fabulous Five. And so I love the idea of it because if there's something that I don't know, I can reach out to someone in that circle that has the expertise that I need. And I think that is just so powerful, from writing books to nonprofit management to strategic planning. Like all of these women bring something valuable that I need. And so I think when it comes to having a mentor as an adult, it's really important to make sure you're strategic about the relationships that you build. And the reason why they connect to me is because they've seen my commitment for the past 13 years. And I believe people will latch on to you when they see that you're committed to your purpose, or you're committed to whatever you're doing. If it's mentoring, if it's business coaching, they'll want to learn from you. And it's like, well, if I can learn from you and you can learn from me, we're both winning. And so that's why I believe the value in mentorship is important. And I think you can get a mentor at any age. So just because we say mentor, it doesn't mean it's for kids. It's for everybody. I believe we all definitely could use someone that can help us get to the next level.
I'm glad you said that, because I think there is this notion around mentorship, maybe when you're a student, and it is a lifelong journey of learning. Carolyn, you work in a university environment, and there are students there, but there's also faculty. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the network that you work in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, like Latanya is saying, having kind of an affinity group. So you see people that are like you and that have similar responsibilities and they're in a similar station kind of in life, that you can relate to them easily. And I think that having a relatable role model is really important. We find, especially in a university situation, particularly, as you mentioned, if we're talking about faculty, they have been in this career for quite a while. They're very established. They're subject matter experts. So when it comes to something that is new and different, that can be very frightening. And the idea of asking for help is kind of, I think it's sometimes you feel like that's a weakness. And I think sometimes as women, we're perfectionists and we want to have all of the answers. We want to know everything. And then reaching out can be kind of a frightening thing. But when you do step out of your comfort zone and ask for that opportunity to learn from someone else that may know, a bit more than you know about that, that's that kind of near peer is a nice way to start. and thinking about different tiers, looking at role models up to someone who's a mentor who has the time and the passion to develop you individually. It gives you that network gives you a wide opportunity of levels of engagement.
I love that idea of a near peer. I don't know that we talk about that enough. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I wonder, is there anything within the entrepreneurship sector where does any of this resonate for a woman entrepreneur who's trying to maybe start up a company? Is the value proposition a little different, or is it the same? What has been your experience, Bridget?
I mean, I think women are incredible entrepreneurs. They have resiliency. They are great problem solvers. We have seen 60% of the people that we serve are women. And one of the things, just like the other panelists were saying, it can be hard to ask for advice. Sometimes they run away from it thinking like, I don't need that or I don't deserve that. But again, when you are able to take that in and open yourself up and ask for help through like a mentor or a network, the like plus sides of that just outweigh any of the time it takes or the work that it seems to be involved with it. We've seen people come to us. There was a woman, Kristen Bell in Chicago, who wanted to start a business that sold dolls that were STEM related because she wanted to appeal to young females who could get into the STEM industry. And she had this idea, this dream, but she didn't know anything about accounting or how to get into big box retailers or how to present. So she reached out to SCORE. She had 4 different mentors. Some were men, some were women. And they helped her to hone her pitch to get the financing. They helped her to get introductions to those big box retailers. And they helped her with her accounting. And these are things that now Kristen is super successful. The dolls are in big box stores like Target. But because she was willing to ask for help and accept that from the subject matter experts, the people who have been there, done that experience, she was able to succeed. And one of the things we know, it's hard to ask for help, but when you do, the upside is just phenomenal.
You know, that's one thing the 3 of you said in common about how hard it is to ask for help. And maybe I'm going to ask why. What is it? Is it something within the female population, or is it in general, our culture? What do you think is that makes it hard? Well, I'm hearing this across the board.
I know just some of the data that SCORE has seen, and I would love to hear from the other panelists as well. One of the things we looked at particularly was around business loans. And what we saw were that women were much less likely to ask for a business loan. And the reasons were they listed that they didn't think they deserved it. They thought other people deserved it more. So it feels like it is this ingrained, I don't know if it's a trait or a culture around women that we're seeing that others deserve it more, or I need to be able to do it on my own. And one of the things I know we all want is, for that to be overcome, because the more we can get women raising their hands and asking help, the more successful women we can have in the world, and the better off the world will be in general.
I see Carolyn shaking her head. Yes. You want to jump in?
I really think that that you're right with the. I see that a lot with faculty. I mean, they know so much, and you feel like you should have all the answers. And so one of the things that we say in our program is that you don't have to know it all or do it all. And I think that's an important part is, also thinking about your team, and mentors are an incredibly important part of your team. And the idea of a team is to build people around you with complementary skills that can add to that greater effort. And so if you think about, maybe that's a little less threatening than it's, part of your team, but asking for help is can really be challenging. I think it goes back to feeling that it's showing you have a weakness. When you're thinking about entrepreneurship, I mean, you've got to be, kind of the picture you have in your head is bold and confident, and I know everything. And so that seems like I contradict asking for help. But asking for help is it's more efficient that way. It saves you from making mistakes. And it
Wise.
also is this having a supportive network around you to be able to be your, kind of your guiding voice. I'm experiencing this. Is this normal? So that you add to your abilities. Yeah, it's not a weakness. It's a strength, actually.
It sounds like we need to reframe it as such.
Yeah.
And I know, Latonya, you have a personal story here too. And I would love for you to share it because I think you asked for help and you said it was transformative.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, my thing is asking for help is necessary, especially when there's a goal that you're trying to reach and you have no idea how to reach it. You got to ask for help. It's just that simple. And I think I'm successful at what I do as a business owner, but there are still things that I just don't know. And just like Caroline said, you don't have to know it all. That's why it's important to have a mentor or have someone that can give you resources that can help you reach your goal. Because if you try to learn it all, you'll go crazy. But if you can have experts that can guide you in something or maybe even do it for you, and then you just know what you need to know to keep going to make sure you have the next right person in place to do it for you. I think that's the benefit in having a mentor or an executive coach that can kind of guide you through that type of process so that you're not feeling overwhelmed as if you have to do everything. But the biggest thing I will say is everything, asking for help is necessary. It's just necessary. And sometimes we just got to be humble, right? Put our pride down and say, look, I don't know it all. I can't wait. There's a lady I'm meeting in a couple of weeks, and she's so smart. I mean, this is the smartest woman I've ever met in my life. I can't wait to tell her I know nothing so she can fill me up, right? With some stuff, and I'm just gonna go to her like, look, I need some help. But just as far as like having personal stories, I have so many stories of women that I've impacted. I have stories where I've been impacted. And just overall, I would just say that there's no way that I could be where I am and without a mentor or without a coach. And that's why I think it's important. Even though I've been doing this for 13 years, just like Bridget, I still feel in some spaces insecure. And this is something that I think we should be vulnerable about, because if we kind of put it out there, like, look, there's some stuff I'm insecure about when it comes to accounting, then maybe somebody can say, you know what? I got you. Let me help you. Let me give you some advice that you need. But I think, like you said, people run away from asking for help where it's like we should be running to the help. So I hope that could make the personal experience more overall for you.
Well, if you're running towards somebody for help, what does that person, what kind of characteristics should they have? Just so you know you're running towards the right person. So I know
Yeah, I'm big on character. Like I'm big on character. I'm big on integrity. Even when I'm looking at someone that I want to coach me, I just want to see how they treat people. I love to go out to eat. I like to eat anyway, but
no, we all do.
I like to go.
Breaking bread has a way of connecting you to people too. So.
And it does. Food is that's it. But I think it's good because I pay attention to how are you treating the waiter, right? How are you treating? How are you tipping? Like I'm looking at all of that kind of stuff because I think it shows who you are as a person. I've been out with people and I'm like, whoa, I don't want to go out with you again, right? Because you don't know how to treat people and I don't want to be a part of that. And so that type of stuff, when I'm looking at a mentor or a coach, I'm always really honing in on their character.
How about you, Caroline? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, jump in.
Oh, I love what you said. And I would add, I do think it's almost like dating, like you have to find that good fit. And so like testing out the waters is really important with anyone you want to mentor. Going out to eat and is definitely a great way to do that. I also think what's important is to be able to be completely honest with that person and for them to be honest back to you. You don't want someone just being a yes person who's saying like, oh, that sounds good, if it's not a great idea. You want someone who's going to tell you the truth and tell you that might be a terrible idea and here's why, and let's try this instead. So I think honesty and authenticity are two other characteristics that I would look for in a mentor.
It's a great tip.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think maybe another layer to add there is what does success look like in your mind's eye? And and looking for someone who is that version of success, because their success is really kind of it should be individually dictated. What do you want out of life? And there are examples of success where they're working 80 hours a week. Well, if that's your success, then that's a certain kind of role model or mentor that that you might look for. But if you're looking for someone with integrity and life balance, because those are the values that are important to you, then that's again, it's the same thing that LaTanya and Bridget are saying. It's character. It's who you envision yourself being, your best self being.
Mhm.
I like that. Well, we've spoken a lot about women in general, but are there any special considerations when you think about women who come from underrepresented communities? How do they build out their networks or find their mentors?
Yeah, I think the resources are scarce, especially where I'm at in Detroit. It's a lot of inconsistency. And so that's why I make it my life goal to be consistent with the young people that I touch. And I always try to make sure I'm available. I had a group of 20 young women yesterday. And I told them, I said, look, you're always going to have access to me. As long as I'm here, you have my number. I don't plan on it changing. So you can call me if there's anything that you need. And I think that the consistency is so important because they lack consistency in their home life, just with the demographics of the young people that I deal with. And so I try to make sure I am setting the bar. And even the mentors that's on my team, that's the standard. I need consistency because we have to make sure that, we're there and letting them know that we're there. And so that's the standard for my organization, for anyone that comes on, because we have to see these young people through. We have to make sure that they're, being successful, and we want to be able to hold their hand through it, so.
Makes sense. What about you, Bridget or Caroline? Have you seen any challenges in building a network for the women who come from underrepresented communities?
Yeah,
maybe they're harder to find mentors like themselves. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing my ideas out there.
That's definitely a challenge. When you, like LaTanya was saying, when those resources are scarce, they're also always going to be the ones that are called upon too, because there's the one individual that fits this profile. So that, I think, is another reason for not only our networks, but our expanded networks, like my network and LaTanya's network and Bridget's network. When you get them together, then you're finding, it enables you to leverage some of the intersectionality, so that you've got these different characteristics. You can find someone that is a mentor that, whatever your need is right now, maybe your need is because you're a female founder with children, and you need to find someone who's a mentor that can help you with, that's your largest challenge right now. Maybe at a different time, though, it is being from a minoritized population in this heavily dominated, either male or white field, that I need someone that I can identify with on that level. So connecting our networks and being, a network ourselves, that enables you to get more of those role models that are critical to break down those barriers.
It makes
Now,
sense.
here's the story. I remember you asked me about the personal story. I was thinking, like, which one you want me to talk about? I got it. So I remember, graduating from high school, top 10% of my class, and going to Michigan State. And I graduated, by the way. I made it. But when I got there, it was difficult for me because it was hard. I was the only African-American woman of 300 people in a class. And so it was difficult for me to adjust from coming from a predominantly African-American city. So the cultural adjustment for me was different. And then the academics, the level of academia there, I was like, whoa, like these people are smart. Like there's no way I'm going to know this stuff. And so I had to really relearn a lot of stuff. But what got me through was a mentor. I had a mentor. It was a young lady I looked up to in high school, and she went on to Michigan State. And when I got there, she showed me the ropes. She told me how to sign up for my classes, how many credits to take. Like she literally walked me through. I was a first generation college student. Like I didn't know anything. And so having that mentor, she helped me. And it actually, she's the reason why I'm a mentor today. And so just having, those type of personal experiences that can help you and guide you and shape you. And so she's one of the reasons why I'm not afraid to ask for help, because I knew I wanted to graduate from a great university. I knew I wanted to do that. And I went on to get a master's degree and everything, even after that. But the whole time she was there. And so that's why, I based my program on how she treated me. She's consistent. She's still consistent. I'm consistent. She went off to get a PhD. I didn't do that, but I got a master's, so I had someone that I could look up to. And that's why I think that it's so important to have a mentor. It doesn't matter what background you're in. We both came from underrepresented areas, and now she's living in this huge home and living a great life, and so I love that story because it really shows the power of the success when it comes to having a mentor. So thank you. It came back to me.
Yes, and it's so transformative, which is why I love that story.
Thank you.
What about from a business perspective? I know a lot of this is similar, but are there any special considerations when you're thinking about underrepresented women they're starting a business and they have other things to think about, like access to capital and
Absolutely. There are a ton of considerations. One of the things we've learned in continuing to gain insights from the small business owners and those looking to start that we serve is that there are some things that are common through all business owners, no matter, what industry, where you're located, what demographics, but then there are unique needs for underserved communities or types of entrepreneurs, women being one of them. I mentioned the loan or the access to capital earlier. Not only do women apply less, but they are approved at a lower rate than their male counterparts. And I do think in underserved areas in general, part of the problem is larger than any of us are talking about. I mean, there is just lack of support, lack of access to resources. And it's something that we really need to work to overcome to make sure that there is equity in making sure those underserved entrepreneurs have the opportunities that they deserve to start their business and to grow. One of the things SCORE has done is to try to identify those unique needs, whether it is access to capital or access to mentors. So we've created what we call our SCORE for All hubs. And we have a SCORE for women entrepreneurs, which speaks to those unique needs. It helps elevate the female mentors that we have at SCORE. It speaks to how to, work on your pitch to get that access to capital and what other grant opportunities may be out there for female entrepreneurs. There are other issues that predominantly affect female entrepreneurs, like caretaking or caregiving, whether it's for children or parents or family members, and how to balance those issues. It's a bigger problem for the women that we serve than the men entrepreneurs. So those are things that we really need to, when you're talking about mentoring, it's not just about I have this issue. It really is about the whole life and the whole experience to make sure that you don't just have the right business plan or the right access to the network, but you're working with the right person. You have the right temperament and personality for that path. And it's why mentors are so important. Again, that personality fit and that honesty to say, this is right for you, or this may not be right for you. And let's take this alternative path. Doesn't mean it's no, it's just not this particular idea at this particular moment in time.
So you said it's really hard because the conditions are difficult and the access is hard. But if you had a magic wand, and if there's something we should be doing differently that you think we should focus on, and you had the wand and it would force us all to go do it differently, what would it be?
Oh, that is a great question.
I can give you time to think if you need it.
Well, I think the one, and I heard this at the end of the panel right before, I think it's about getting other people to elevate women as well.
I thought about that when you were talking. Yes.
Right. It's not just the women lifting women up, which I think we all are fans of and do as much as possible. Yes. But we have male mentors at our organization who are phenomenal at helping women achieve their dreams, identify their successes. And I mean, when I speak with the SCORE volunteers, they get tears in their eyes when they talk about the woman who was able to open her garlic farm in Maine and was able to, then support her family and or leave the job that they wanted to leave. And so I think that it's broadening it and making sure that everyone is looking to help make sure things are equal and equitable across our country.
That makes a lot of sense to me. The care economy shouldn't fall on the shoulders of women, right? This should be a shared.
Yeah.
I see some nodding of the heads also over here.
We have
Carolyn,
a program at OSU that's called Advocates and Allies, and that is specifically to invite and encourage male faculty then, and kind of following up on a conversation at the end of the last session to engage the other half of the population. I mean, it's because we also had that question about, so this is a program and it's just for women, is that the right thing to have a program that's just for women, as opposed to something that is more open. And I think there's a time for both of those. But definitely inviting men to the conversation is an important thing if we're actually going to make an overall change. Just thinking about the culture at the university, you can't do it just as women alone. It needs to be an entire cultural change.
did
If
you
I
want to
had
add
a magic wand,
Yes, magic wand. You got
I would have a school and in the class it would be called Let's Take Care of Each Other. I think we forgot to take care of each other. Like we don't take care of each other like we used to anymore. And I'm just talking from my experiences. I see the frustrated parent because they're a single mom and they working so many hours and they come home tired and the kids are not doing their part and mom is going crazy because her boss just went off on her and she doesn't know how to control her emotions. So she takes it out on her children, and then the children go to school and they're bullying their friends because they've been traumatized at home by their parent. It's just like this a domino effect that you see. And it's like, if we really could just teach people just at a young age how to just take care of your parents and, teach parents how to take care of their children and teach business owners how to take care of their employees. And I just think overall, it'll just be better if people just had strategies on or coping mechanisms on things that they deal with in life, that we just had a happier mood sometime, right? It'll really help people be able to just take care of one another and want to do more for each other and help each other out. I really wish I had a magic wand and I could do that.
It's funny because this panel is about women, and we're thinking about workplace and opportunity. And yet what we're saying is it needs to be all of us, not just women, kind of bringing it all together. And it's not just at work. Really, it bleeds into other facets of life. And, a true mentor in my, at least, experience is one that kind of just not just talking to you about just at work, but really talking to you as a whole human. Yeah. And that's what I'm hearing you say. And it's kind of funny because one of the last questions we had, and I think the timing of it's kind of interesting. We are talking about women in a mentorship, and where do you fall on whether, if you are seeking a mentor, should you, and you're a woman, should you seek out another woman, or is there value in also seeking mentors? And how do you feel about it?
Oh, for me? Okay. So
I'll start with you. Why not? You have the magic wand still in your hand.
Honestly, I have a personal board of directors. So, with nonprofits, you have a board of directors, but I have a personal board of directors because I have men and women and they're super smart, smarter than me, and so in some areas, because I can also be their personal board of director too, but there are things that, from a business perspective that I may encounter and I don't know how to deal with it. I'll call someone who's more experienced than me, that can talk to me about how to deal with difficult people, how to have difficult conversations. Sometimes, and I'll say this, I'm not great at that all the time. I like to just shut down and do my thing and just sleep it off. But a professional is going to talk through that so you can come to a conclusion on how to move forward. And so having people, it doesn't matter, male, female. I like to talk to both because I get two different perspectives. And then I'm able to kind of come up with how I want to deal with it. So I don't really think gender is a big deal. It just depends on what the situation is. But I believe that men and women both can add value to whatever you're trying to do.
Does everybody agree, or is there a differing opinion?
I think both are really important. I really, and I think this came up in our previous conversation. I didn't have a mentor really through my professional career, and I really wish I didn't have a female mentor. I wish I had, and that's in large part why I'm so passionate about mentoring, is that, that being there for that feeling of aloneness and really helping. So I'm a very strong advocate for women having women mentors, but that is not the only mentor you should have, but having a female mentor, I think, is an important thing to have on your personal board of directors, like LaTonya says.
I like that. What about you,
Yeah.
Bridget?
I agree with what has been said. I am a single mom working professional, and there are some things that no matter how in touch a man is with things going on, a woman is just going to really understand what I'm going through and help me navigate that throughout my career. And I've found a lot of value in that. And I have male mentors as well in my life that help me with specific things. And some of it is challenging the bias that I bring as a woman to the table. So I do think it depends, and both are the right answer. So I totally agree.
I love it. That's why we have a magic wand, right? We can have it all. Yes. Okay, here's the last question. I want the three of you to think about a homework assignment we're going to give our audience about building a network or finding a mentor. Because one of the themes I'm hearing is that it's hard to ask. So let's start with Bridget. What would be the homework assignment you would give somebody listening if they don't have a mentor yet and are maybe needing to build out their network?
So the selfish plug is go to score.org if you are a business owner and find a business mentor. It is free. We are here for your journey. So please do that. However, I think the homework in general, regardless of where you are, and I love what Caroline said, think about what you're looking to get out of a mentor. Start to write that down and think about what success means to you. I think then when people are crossing your paths, wherever it is, at events or, even in the grocery store, like you'll just be more aware of what you're looking for and be able to strike up that conversation and be more willing to ask for help.
Who's next? Caroline or LaTonya? Homework assignment. See, the audience didn't know they were get a homework assignment, but they do.
Well, I'm going to be a part of the homework assignment too, because I'm going to go to score.org. So
I love it.
I'm already doing it. I'm going to look it up. But also, I love this thing that I do called Imagine Your Future. So when it comes to you being a business owner or whatever success you want, I want you to write a letter to your future self and tell yourself in that letter everything that you're going to do to become that person that you want to become that successful business owner that you want to become. What resources did you tap into? And if you don't know, just say, I need a resource for business. I need a resource I'm going to go to score.org, right? What are you going to do to get to the next piece of your success? And I think that's, if you can see where you want to be, then you're going to take the necessary steps or find out what the necessary steps are in order to get there. And you can start with SCORE. And if you need some confidence building, you can come to imaginementoring.com.
I love it. What about you, Caroline?
Yeah, it's a big leap. And once you take that first step and ask someone to talk to you about their experience. You don't have to start out, will you be my mentor? Because that's a big commitment. Start out by exploring different opportunities. And there are all kinds of different levels of engagement. And, this is a perfect example, just listening in. I mean, you can listen in, hear different stories, and I bet everybody that has been on the program today has said, we would love to talk to you. So already there are 20 people that you can just reach out to say, tell me a little bit about your experience, or I'm interested in what you said about this. I mean, this is a perfect first step, is just reaching out to someone who's basically, I mean, if we could reach our arms out to you, we would. Please come ask us. We want to talk to you. We want to share our experiences, and we want to welcome you into this sorority of women who are here to help.
Thank you to the three of you, not only for joining us today, but for your words of wisdom and what you do every day. It is so inspiring. And I'm so grateful to each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.